Most people are really surprised to learn that the number of accidents involving firearms has dropped sharply over the last 20 years, and it's been largely attributable to safety programs such as this one. This video was produced because we can do even better. We can further reduce firearms accidents by following 10 simple and common sense rules of gun storage and handling. During this program, we'll take a look at those 10 rules and illustrate just how easy it is to follow them. Please watch this video and carefully read your owner's manual before even unpacking your new firearm. Firearm safety is no accident. It begins and ends with you. A gun cannot operate on its own. That's where you come in. Once you pick up a firearm, you are the sole determinant as to whether that firearm is safe or unsafe. So let's now review our 10 rules of firearm safety to make sure that you'll always be on the safe side. Always keep your muzzle pointed in a safe direction. If everyone handled a firearm so carefully that the muzzle never pointed at something they didn't intend to shoot, there would be virtually no firearms accidents. It's as simple as that. This rule is especially important when loading or unloading your firearm. If there is an accidental discharge during this process, no one will be injured if the muzzle is pointed in a safe direction. A safe direction means a direction in which a projectile cannot possibly strike anyone, remembering that shots can penetrate walls and ceilings. Get in the habit of knowing where the muzzle of your gun is pointing at all times, and make sure that you have complete control over the muzzle's direction. Consider unloading when crossing difficult terrain that may cause you to stumble or fall. This is the most basic rule of firearm safety, and it's up to you. Our second rule is another common sense practice that all gun owners should adhere to strictly. Be positive that your firearm is unloaded when it's not being used. Always unload immediately after you finish shooting and keep the action open, locking it with an approved gun lock. If your gun is equipped with a manual safety, be sure to engage it before unloading any firearm. To unload a firearm with a detachable magazine, first remove the magazine, then open the action and check to be sure that the chamber is empty. To unload a firearm with a tube-fed magazine, work the action while keeping the muzzle pointed in a safe direction and your finger outside the trigger guard. Then open the action and check to be sure that both the chamber and magazine tube are empty. To unload a firearm with an internal magazine, open the action and check to be sure that the chamber is empty. Then remove the ammunition from the magazine per the instructions in your owner's manual. Never enter a vehicle or a building with a loaded firearm. Always keep firearms and ammunition securely stored, separately, and under lock and key. Keep firearms out of the reach of children and unauthorized persons. Children are naturally curious about guns, and they will find even your best hiding spots. Make sure they can't access your firearm without your permission and supervision. Even if you don't have children, you never know what guests might visit. Always keep your firearm unloaded and locked and inaccessible to anyone but yourself, with the ammunition stored separately. There are a variety of secure storage devices available that will help keep unauthorized persons from using your firearm. If you believe you must have quick access to a loaded firearm in your home, you need to take special safety measures. Keeping a gun to defend your family makes no sense if that same gun puts your family members or visitors to your home at risk. However, each individual's circumstances will vary. If you choose to keep a firearm for home security, your objective should be to create a situation in which the firearm is readily available to you, yet inaccessible or inoperable to others. Special lockable cases that can be quickly opened only by authorized individuals are options to consider. Never leave an unsecured and loaded firearm unattended, especially if there are or may be children and visitors in the home. If you aren't in control of the firearm, you can't use it for home protection, so be sure to secure it properly. The only time you can be absolutely certain that a gun cannot fire is when the action is open and it's completely empty. While you might be certain that you unloaded your gun before securing it, your brother-in-law who borrowed it since then may not have unloaded it properly. You should never handle a gun carelessly and assume that the gun won't fire just because the safety is on. The safety serves as a supplement to proper gun handling but cannot possibly serve as a substitute for common sense. So treat every gun as if it were loaded. Never touch the trigger on your firearm until you are ready to shoot, and keep your fingers clear of the trigger when loading or unloading. Remember, while using a manual safety is a useful component of responsible gun handling, you are your firearm's ultimate safety. Be sure of your target and what's beyond it. No one can call a shot back once it's fired, so it's imperative that you carefully consider both your target and what's beyond it before you put your finger on the trigger. Most bullets can travel over 1 mile, some up to 3 miles, and some even farther than 3 miles. This is obviously much further than your intended target, so firing without being aware of your bullet's path and ultimate destination is potentially hazardous to others and their property. It is critical that you use only the type of ammunition specified in your owner's manual. Pay attention to all warnings in your firearms manual and on ammunition boxes. Never use damaged ammunition. Poor ignition and subsequent damage to your firearm and injury to yourself could occur. Examine every round you put in your gun. Never use damaged or substandard ammunition. The money you save is not worth the risk of possible injury or a ruined gun. Occasionally, a gun may not fire when the trigger is pulled. If this occurs, keep the muzzle pointed in a safe direction. Keep your face away from the breech and then carefully open the action. Unload the firearm and dispose of the round in a safe way.
Pull.
All shooters should wear both eye and ear protection when shooting. Exposure to shooting noise can damage your hearing. There is a variety of hearing protection available. Choose a product that is comfortable and offers good protection. Likewise, shooting glasses guard against twigs, falling shot, clay target chips, and ejected shell cases. Before loading your firearm, open the action and be certain that no ammunition is in the chamber or magazine. Even though you always unload your firearms after every use, someone else may have left a round in the chamber. Next, look through the barrel to be sure it is clear of any obstructions. Even a small bit of mud, snow, or excess lubricating oil can cause it to bulge or even burst upon firing, endangering the shooter and bystanders. If the action is open, the gun can't fire. So make it a habit to point the gun in a safe direction and open the action to examine the chamber every time you pick up any firearm. Firearms are complicated mechanisms and must work correctly in order to be safe. Any alteration to your firearm may make the gun dangerous and will usually void the factory warranty. Don't jeopardize your safety or the safety of others by altering the trigger, safety, or other parts of your or anyone else's firearm. Your gun is a mechanical device and is subject to wear. Take it to an approved warranty repair center for periodic inspection, adjustment, and service. Check your owner's manual or check with the manufacturer of your firearm for recommended servicing. Many first-time gun owners elect to take a safety and familiarization course from a certified instructor. Your local firearms retailer is a good source for information on safety courses. Be aware that some states require that you complete a safety course before being issued a handgun carry permit. Be sure to consult local regulations. All guns are not the same. Each model has particular characteristics with regards to loading, unloading, and general safe handling procedures. For example, some pistols will fire when the magazine is removed, and some will not. You should familiarize yourself completely with your firearm before using it. If you don't have a manual or have misplaced it, the manufacturer will gladly replace it at no charge. Your authorized dealer will also be happy to help if you have any questions about your firearm. Now that you've taken this video tour of the 10 rules of firearm responsibility, you've learned the basics, but you have to practice them every day to be a responsible and safety-conscious gun owner. Our final point almost goes without saying, but I'll mention it anyway. Alcohol, drugs, and guns don't mix. When you're shooting, never use any substance that might even mildly impair your judgment or physical coordination. Thank you for taking the time to view this program. By following these guidelines, you'll have many safe and enjoyable experiences with your new firearm. If you'd like any additional information or firearm safety literature, please contact the National Shooting Sports Foundation. The address and phone number will follow. Thank you once again and stay safe.